How's it going? Thank you for joining me on this video. Today, I want to talk about a very important topic, not just in self-improvement, but in basically any aspect of life. If you want to succeed, then you're going to have to adhere to this principle. And what we're talking about today is called ATFT. Now, in short, what ATFT is basically, we're going to raise the font here. ATFT stands for the ability to follow through. Now, what are we talking about here? Basically, every single time that you say something, so let's say we're saying, I'm going to X. Now, X can be anything. X can be, I'm going to make my bed. I'm going to clean my room. I'm going to do 30 minutes of work. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Now, every single time that you say this, what you don't realize is in your subconscious mind, your subconscious is going to be watching, whether you realize it or not, to see whether you follow through on what you said you were going to do. So let's say I say out loud that I am going to clean my room today. Now, in the back of my head, my subconscious is watching for the entire day to see whether or not I'm actually going to follow through and I'm going to clean my room. And basically, throughout your day, your brain keeps score. So, on the one hand, we have, I fucking spelled that wrong. Sorry, my bad. I'm a complete fucking idiot. There we go. On the one hand, we have ATFT. So let's say that I do make my bed that day. I said, I'm going to make my bed, and I make it. What's going to happen is your subconscious mind is going to put a strike down in the ATFT column. However, on the other side, what we have over here is the ITFT column. Now, the ITFT is just the opposite. The ITFT stands for inability to follow through. And surely it'll let me move it. Apologies here, guys. I cannot seem to move this thing. But ITFT stands for inability to follow through. That's the idea. Now, if I don't make my bed, what happens is that we get a strike in the ITFT column. Now, throughout the day, we're going to score up a certain amount of ATFTs and a certain amount of ITFTs. Let's say at the end of the day, the score is 5-3. So we've accumulated 5 ITFTs to 3 ATFTs. So 5 times we have said that we were going to do something and we didn't follow through and do that thing. What message is that sending to your brain? What message is that sending to your subconscious? What it's saying is, I can't accomplish things. What it's saying is, I don't have an ability to set out and achieve what I said I was going to achieve. In essence, your entire complex of self-trust and your confidence basically all hinges on this scoreboard. You need to be doing whatever it takes to raise that ATFT counter above the ITFT And in an ideal world, what happens is you want this. You want to avoid the ITFT at all costs, basically. It is probably, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that the ITFT may be the single worst thing for your progress and your improvement in your entire life. Like, it may be the single, forget, drugs, forget alcohol, forget any of that. This is worse. Because what this ends up doing is it signals to your brain that you don't trust yourself, that you're incapable of accomplishing things, that you're incapable of finishing what you start. And it's going to torpedo your self-confidence in the long run. So the good news about the ATFT is that size is irrelevant. The magnitude of the task for ATFT doesn't actually play any role. It can literally be as simple as, like, I'm going to make my bed. And you go and do that. And what happens, we keep track here. We have our little, there's the ATFT side, there's the ITFT side. So I'm going to make my bed, and you go and you just do it. You just make your bed, and you get a counter on that side. And you're going to notice that you feel a little better about yourself. It's not even that your bed is made that's the thing that makes you feel better about yourself. What it is that you said you were going to do something and you followed through on it. So you showed your subconscious mind that you can trust yourself and that you're capable of setting out and accomplishing things. It could be as simple as, I'm going to brush my teeth. And then what do? You go and you brush your teeth, and you get another win in the column. So this is just going to stack. The good thing about these ATFTs is as you perform them throughout the day, they just compound your confidence, because the more you can do and the more you follow through, as you start to strike up these over and over and over again, you're going to feel better and better and better. And you're going to be able to tackle larger and more difficult tasks with confidence that you can achieve them. And you're going to be willing to push yourself more because you're going to know how much you're capable of. However, the opposite is also true. When you don't, you say I'm going to make my bed and you don't make it, we get 1 in the ITFT column. So now we're at the start. We're at the start of the day. We've put 1 in the ITFT column. So we've demonstrated an inability to follow through. Not only do we not accomplish this task, we've just made it probably twice as hard to accomplish the second task. So now so we can't make our bed. Now we say, I'm going to brush my teeth. We have less confidence now. There's a chance you don't accomplish this one now. So now we got 2 in the ITFT. And so it's the same scenario. These start to compound. And then you get to a point like I've been there myself, where I'm at the point in the day where my day is looking like this. How the fuck am I supposed to do anything? This is the idea of getting points on the board and doing the little things right and always following through on what you're going to do, on what you say you're going to do. So how do we go about this? How do we accomplish this? It's the simplest answer you can think of, but it's not easy at all. What you need to do to master the principle of ATFT is to establish your word as law. We need to make sure that 100% of the time, when we say something, when we say we're going to do something, we do it, no matter what. You need to get in your head that your word is your life. You actually need to put it in your head that you need to be willing to die before you go back on your word. This has to become 100% consistent. Every single time. It doesn't matter what it is. If I, people may think this is extreme, but I don't care. This is how important I think this concept is. If I say I'm not going to eat sugar today, now you're going to understand how difficult this principle is once you start to practice it, because there may be like upwards of 20 times that I'm going to be offered sugar and I'm going to have to turn it down. But I want you to think of the confidence boost that I would gain from following through of an entire day of this after saying that I wouldn't do it. I would say that, I would say the ability to follow through, I would probably put it in the top three most important things you will ever need to master and ever need to learn in your entire life. This is everything. This is everything. Huge. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching this video. I'm trying to make every single video better. Please, if you have any feedback for me, leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for your time if you made it this far, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.